Turning now to international news with the war with Iran. Two sides are said to be moving closer to a possible deal to end the war.
13 U.S. service members have died since that conflict started back in February. CBS News' Tina Kraus joins us now. As we know today, the president will take part in this wreath-laying ceremony that's taking place at Arlington National Cemetery to honor those 13, Tina.
That's right, AJ and Barrett. We do know also that President Trump likes to keep his options open. He's made it clear he wants to make a deal with Iran, but only if it's a, quote, good and proper one. Iran's foreign ministry spokesman said over the weekend the two sides were both very close and very far from reaching an agreement.
A senior Trump administration official tells CBS News the Iranians have in principle agreed to a deal that would include the disposal of highly enriched uranium and the reopening of the Strait of Hormuz, a vital shipping route for the world's energy supplies.
So we have what I think is a pretty solid thing on the table in terms of their ability to open up the straits, get the straits open, enter into a very real, significant, time-limited negotiation on the nuclear matters.
Secretary of State Marco Rubio says the plan has support in the region.
We thought we might have some news last night, maybe today. I wouldn't read too much into it. It takes a little while to hear back.
Complicating matters, CBS News has learned U.S. intelligence shows Iran's supreme leader is holed up in a secret location with little access to the outside world, and it takes time for him to receive data and send back responses. In a social media post Sunday, President Trump wrote he ordered his team not to rush into a deal and that time is on our side. But some senators are expressing concern, with reports in Iranian media suggesting Tehran may keep control over the Strait of Hormuz.
The president should have stuck to his campaign pledge of keeping us out of war and focused on bringing down prices. He's done just the opposite.
Any agreement with Iran that isn't subject to ratification by Congress is I think, going to be doomed to fail.
A top Iranian military leader says it's Tehran's legal right to control the strait.
The two sides are also facing several other sticking points, including the future of sanctions and Iran's demand for access to billions of dollars in frozen oil revenues. Another flashpoint is the wider, the wider regional conflict, including the war in Lebanon. That's between Israel and the Iran-backed Hezbollah. AJ, Barrett.
All of it connected together. Tina Kraus with the latest. Tina, we appreciate that update.
All right, let's head to the latest from the live desk. Maria Lizignoli joining us now. And Maria, a big volunteer effort this weekend to get Fort Snelling's grounds ready for this Memorial Day.
Yes, more than 2,400 people turned out this weekend to place flags at every headstone. That's nearly 200,000 flags. The nonprofit Flags for Fort Snelling has been doing this since 2015. Now, being a registered 501c3 nonprofit, they put every single penny they raise back into the flags and making sure each and every veteran is honored. The founder says she started this because she wanted to show her daughter the meaning of this holiday.
For me, it's very humbling. It's just bringing it back to this is what matters. I feel like so many of the younger generations kind of lost the importance of what all of this means.
So today, Fort Snelling will host their annual program. That's later this morning. It starts at 10. The keynote speaker will be Richard Middleton, the commander of Fort Snelling's Memorial Rifle Squad. The flags at each headstone will stay up throughout the week, and volunteers are asking you to come help take them down next Saturday. They're collected again to use year after year. Several communities will be honoring Memorial Day today, and we'll have a look at some of the other events coming up in the next half hour.
Okay, thanks, Maria.
You know, as you mentioned, it's Memorial Day, so we want to talk about what today is really about. You see the flags there. We are at Fort Snelling. This is a live look from our photojournalist, John Murphy. We want to pay our respects and honor the servicemen and women who have paid the ultimate sacrifice. So you can see all of those flags by all of those grave sites right there. They're going to hold their annual program at 10 a.m. And you think about the work that it takes to get all those flags out there. They're still looking for volunteers, too, which is really, really important. We do want to check in at the live desk now. That's where Maria Lizignoli joins us, because several communities are offering events and programs to honor those who have made the ultimate sacrifice.
Yes, that's right. In the last half hour, we talked a lot about that Memorial Day event at Fort Snelling in Minneapolis. That's not the only event today. From the state capitol to the state lines, communities are honoring the veterans who have served the U.S. military. Let me tell you about a couple events today. Starting this morning at 10, there's a Memorial Day service at Cottage Grove City Hall. At 10:30, Lakewood Cemetery in Minneapolis is holding a ceremony. A couple happening at 11, Eden Prairie at the Veterans Memorial at Purgatory Park. Also at 11, an event in Montevideo at Sunset Cemetery. Up to Blaine, where an annual program will be held at 2 p.m. at Veterans Memorial Park. And finally, at the state capitol, a service will be held at the Minnesota Vietnam Veterans Memorial. That's at 3 p.m. Now back to that event in Montevideo. That's the hometown of WCCO's John Lauritsen. He will be giving the keynote address at that Memorial Day commemoration. Again, that's at 11 a.m. at Sunset Cemetery.
Special. Maria, we appreciate that update. Thank you.
Now let's head to the live desk for the very latest. Maria Lezignoli joins us now. And Maria, a big volunteer effort this weekend to get Fort Snelling's grounds ready for Memorial Day. We just saw that live image. Really beautiful out there.
Really beautiful, yes. More than 2,400 people turned out this weekend to place flags at every headstone. That's nearly 200,000 flags. Now, the nonprofit, Flags for Fort Snelling, has been doing this since 2015. Being a registered 501c3 nonprofit, they put every single penny they raise back into the flags and back into making sure each and every veteran is honored. The founder says she started this because she wanted to show her daughter the true meaning of this holiday.
For me, it's very humbling. It's just bringing it back to like this is what matters. I feel like so many of the younger generations kind of lost the importance of what all of this means.
Fort Snelling will host their annual program later this morning. That starts at 10 a.m. The keynote speaker will be Richard Middleton, the commander of Fort Snelling's Memorial Rifle Squad. The flags at each headstone will stay up throughout the week, and volunteers are asking you to come help them take them down next Saturday. See, they're collected every single year so they can be used again and again. Several communities will be honoring Memorial Day today. We're going to have a look at all of those other events coming up in the next half hour.
Good reminder of what the holiday means.
Yeah.
Thanks, Maria. Police are now asking neighbors for security video and information after a teen died in a North Mankato shooting. It caused a car to crash into a house.
Here's what we know. The shooting happened shortly after 11 o'clock Saturday night, I should say. Police say they initially responded to reports of gunfire. Well, minutes later, reports came in of a car crashing through a townhome. Officers arrived to find a 17-year-old boy who had been injured inside the car. They tried to save him, but he died at the hospital. Investigators do not believe this was random. They're asking for information about a silver 2010 Chevy Impala in the area at the time of the shooting.
Stopping teen takeovers. This was the scene in March when 100 kids showed up at a park in the North Metro. Police made some arrests when it turned violent. The Crystal Police Department increased patrols after learning a park takeover was planned again on Sunday. Last night it happened 2 years ago. Again, as you just saw in March, the Crystal Police Department said a group of 100 teenagers showed up 3 days in a row, with some starting fights and using pepper spray. Officials say officers will turn away large groups of unsupervised kids.
We talk about it at least once a month at our city council work session meetings. You know, how can we prevent this? What kinds of things can we bring to the community to give the kids something to do that's more constructive?
The police chief said officers will also take action against parents or other adults who allow kids to participate in these kinds of takeovers.
On this Memorial Day, the U.S. and Iran are said to be moving closer to a possible deal to end the war. 13 U.S. service members have died since that conflict started in February.
CBS News' Tina Kraus tells us President Trump will take part in a wreath-laying ceremony at Arlington National Cemetery as negotiations with Iran press on.
A senior Trump administration official tells CBS News the Iranians have in principle agreed to a deal that would include the disposal of highly enriched uranium and the reopening of the Strait of Hormuz, a vital shipping route for the world's energy supplies.
So we have what I think is a pretty solid thing on the table in terms of their ability to open up the straits, get the straits open, enter into a very real, significant, time-limited negotiation on the nuclear matters.
Secretary of State Marco Rubio says the plan has support in the region.
We thought we might have some news last night, maybe today. I wouldn't read too much into it. It takes a little while to hear back.
Complicating matters, CBS News has learned U.S. intelligence shows Iran's supreme leader is holed up in a secret location with little access to the outside world, and it takes time for him to receive data and send back responses. In a social media post Sunday, President Trump wrote he ordered his team not to rush into a deal and that time is on our side. But some senators are expressing concern, with reports in Iranian media suggesting Tehran may keep control over the Strait of Hormuz.
The president should have stuck to his campaign pledge of keeping us out of war and focused on bringing down prices. He's done just the opposite.
Any agreement with Iran that isn't subject to ratification by Congress is I think, going to be doomed to fail.
A top Iranian military leader says it's Tehran's legal right to control the strait. Tina Kraus, CBS News, London.
Oil prices fell more than 5% overnight on hopes the U.S. and Iran could strike a deal to end the war. About 20% of the world's oil passes through the Strait of Hormuz, and blockades by both sides have driven oil and gas prices higher since the conflict began. Let's take a look at those gas prices here this morning. Many of you likely heading out on the boat or maybe home later today. Nationally, the average is at $4.51. Here in Minnesota, we're sitting a little under that at $4.31. Last month, the gallon ran at $3.77.
Tension reigned high on our nation's capital after a shooting near the White House over the weekend. Bullet holes visible in office buildings. Look at that on Pennsylvania Avenue. Shattered glass in a museum across from the White House. Gunshots on Saturday sent tourists and journalists alike scrambling. Police say the suspected gunman, a 21-year-old man, fired several shots at Secret Service booth, but just before officers returned fire, he later died at the hospital. Court records show he previously tried to get into the White House last summer, was sent to a psychiatric ward for mental health concerns. President Trump posted about the incident on social media. He says this goes to show how important it is for presidents and future presidents to give the most safe and secure space of its kind ever built, referencing his ballroom that he wants. He says it's a security complex underneath.
Now to a developing story in Southern California. Officials say there may be a positive update in the race against time after a chemical tank cracked. The industrial tank contains about 7,000 gallons of highly flammable and toxic chemicals. More than 50,000 people have been evacuated from several communities in Orange County. The worst possibility, an explosion. The second worst, a toxic leak. Experts now say it appears to have cracked, which actually could be good news.
There could be a crack on the top.
Seeing a crack in the tank in this case is a positive development?
It actually is, because if we see a crack, that's going to tell us that the pressurization that we were concerned with might not be there.
The EPA says despite the crack, there are no signs of a toxic leak.
6:48 is your time. Let's check back in with next weather meteorologist Joseph Dames. So, Joseph, you're back in the studio right now. How'd it feel outside this morning?
Comfortable. Really comfortable, actually. Yeah. Nice little breeze out there. Clear skies. It didn't feel too humid either, which that may change in the coming days. So really enjoy some of the weather that we have coming up. I want to start us off with our satellite. Kind of tells the story. You can see the cloud cover here that's drifting away. It's drifting away from us. That's kind of just the leftover showers and storms from last night, which will be clearing on out. So this is the view now as we look up to the northwest, and obviously there is no clouds around. We'll keep it nice and blue as we go through the day today. I want to step out of the way, show you the tower once again. One of my favorites, all right? We only get this so many times a year, and I love when we get to throw that flag up there. So what a beautiful shot coming from the tower. Wind speed and direction, it's running out of the south like 5-10 miles per hour. A little bit stronger down south of Minnesota River Valley along the 90 corridor, where the wind speeds may crank up a little bit stronger today. But the southerly wind is just going to usher in warmer weather for us. And so warm afternoon temperatures, I'm talking like upper 80s to 90 degrees this afternoon, and that's just going to be throughout the whole area. So if you were trying to escape this heat, you'd have to get closer to the water or maybe on the water. All right, here's the shower activity I was mentioning that's leaving the area. Up north today, we'll get sunny skies, maybe a few passing clouds. Hackensack coming in at 87 degrees today, upper 80s to 90. Some of the real warmth will be out west, Montevideo today, coming in at 92, where John Lordson will be out there later today. And then you can see Owatonna coming in at 87 degrees. It won't be our warmest Memorial Day. 2018, we did hit 100. We've had some cold moments as well and some rainy moments too, but these are some of the extremes from Memorial Day. As I mentioned, I don't have rain in the forecast today, though that will change tomorrow. Let's talk about that, all right? Early tomorrow morning, I see maybe a shot for some nocturnal showers or storms developing. I don't think we'll get much tomorrow morning, but we may get some clouds out of that. I want you to be more prepared for this kind of outburst of some showers and storms later in the day, Tuesday, probably after like 6 p.m., and then everything kind of fizzles through the overnight. So maybe a little wet as we get into our Tuesday evening and night. That drifts away and dries up. We'll probably do the same thing Wednesday. We'll use some of the afternoon heat for those storms. And then we cool down a little bit heading into the weekend. Not much, but enough. I have us in the mid-80s Thursday and Friday and down to the lower 80s for your weekend. Okay, today's the day you'll probably be outside. I mean, you're going to be spending some time. Maybe you're going to be on the lake today. Maybe you're just going to be going for a nice little walk. I mean, it is going to be a nice day, but it is going to be hot. It's going to be running on the warm side. So if our next weather tower wasn't the flag, which is for Memorial Day, that thing would be red. We hit 80s yesterday, but we're going to be on our way to pushing 90 this afternoon. All right, good morning to everyone. It is Memorial Day, and if you're going to be spending some time outside, as I mentioned, it's going to feel like summer. Unofficial start to summer. Meteorological summer starts June 1st. But it is absolutely going to feel like it today. Upper 80s, pushing 90 as we head into the afternoon hours. And I see that in the forecast probably for the next 2 to 3 days. Now today the dew points will be a little bit lower, 50s to maybe 60, but tomorrow heading into Wednesday we do jump into that mid 60, upper 60 range. So it's going to feel a little muggy at that point in time. We're going to use some of that moisture for probably some afternoon and evening thunderstorms as well for a couple days. And then we start cooling down some for the weekend, only a little bit. It's not going to be a big swing in the other direction. We'll probably just hit the lower 80s by the time we head into the weekend. For now, beautiful view outside. Southerly wind pumping in that warm air, all the rain, the clouds, any sort of shower activity from last night. It's either dissipated, it's gone, it's dried up, or it has shifted to the east. A few more clouds up to the north and northwest, which will stream on by through the day today, but nothing to really block out the sunshine for us today. So very close to 90 out of Howard Lake, as well as Camden down through Young America. I definitely think that we'll probably see some lower 90s on the board this afternoon, kind of just scattered across some of the communities and the counties nearby. We'll be in the upper 80s, and I know it doesn't seem like that's too extreme, but this is about 15 to 20 degrees above average. Our average high this time of May is in the lower 70s. We should be about 72 to 73 degrees. And so we're really kicking in some summer heat, as I mentioned. Upper 80s from Stillwater to Hudson and then down to the south there for Dakota County. As far as rain goes, do not count on that this afternoon, though maybe a couple isolated showers trying to form well up to the north. The rest of the state is completely cool if you're doing some barbecuing today. If you're going to be just out and about, as I mentioned, maybe doing some yard work and then sitting out in the patio or something, it should be dry. Now, through the overnight, there's a chance for a few nocturnal showers and storms developing. I don't think it's going to be much, but I'll have the radar open tomorrow morning. We'll track that for you if it does become a problem. I would more so plan on the late afternoon into the evening for some storms to develop, and those will likely pass through the area. I have about a 20 to 30% chance. But the models have been pretty consistent that something's going to fire up, and then we may see the same thing arriving Wednesday evening, as I mentioned, with some daytime heating and a little bit of moisture. So plan on a little something. I might increase our chances for some storms for Tuesday evening there. Still going to go with 90s, or at least close to it. Mid-80s Thursday and Friday with nice sunny skies, a week rather, that you're going to need the sunglasses, sunscreen, all of it. It does cool down some for the weekend. In fact, I think the weekend forecast looks quite nice. Lower 80s both Saturday and Sunday.
Yeah, no kidding. Sunglasses all week.
All week.
Love
it's gonna
it.
Be a nice one.
Thanks, Joseph.
We know hearing loss can impact people of all ages, and for this Better Hearing Month, we're taking a closer look at how to protect our ears.
We have Dr. Dave Fabry, the Chief Hearing Health Officer at Starkey, joining us this morning to talk about this important subject. Thank you for being here.
Thank you, Barrett.
There are some really, subtle signs of hearing loss. What are some ways that you can point out that it might be, you should get this checked out?
Well, it's often the case that it's a family member that notices before the individual does. They start noticing that they're having to repeat things, that they're accused of all of a sudden they're accused of mumbling when maybe before they were speaking clearly. Or if they notice their loved one pulling back from social situations. This is, Memorial Day is sort of often regarded as a kickoff to this outdoor and summer season, and people pull back from those social situations that they're involved in. And they're really subtle, but you just start seeing people become detached.
I'm thinking of confidence. Like you're taking away, it's people's confidence. It's taken away here. I'm thinking also about how this can impact people in the workforce.
100%.
How do you see that impacting people in the workforce that people may not necessarily think of necessarily?
Yeah. Well, we don't have phones at our desk anymore. It seems like we're all on our cells. But if you notice that people are having difficulty on phone conversations where there isn't a visual, you realize how much help you get to understand by seeing a person's face and their expressions. In meetings, you may see that people start withdrawing, same as I talked about in social situations. At the workplace, that can really be a big issue. And then also, a lot of times, if someone is experiencing this themselves, they feel fatigued at the end of the day. It's a drain on what it takes to concentrate on everything that's being said to a much greater degree than when you don't have hearing loss.
I imagine there are just, some long-term side effects to hearing loss, besides the fact of you're just not able to hear.
It's a great point. People often think of hearing loss as occurring in a vacuum, but there are connections, we call them comorbidities, with other health conditions. Cardiovascular disease and hearing loss have strong associations, but the most important one of the last few years is cognition. Untreated hearing loss in the aging population is often associated with cognitive decline, especially for people who have elevated cardiovascular risk factors and are in the aging population and have hearing loss. That cognitive decline is accelerated if they don't do something about it by wearing hearing aids.
I feel like there are two sides to this because you're talking about the aging population too, but then also the younger population too, because you see kids with headphones all the time. We were talking on the commercial break. Kids are wearing headphones all the time. There's a danger with that too if parents aren't supervising the volume levels.
Absolutely. In the old days when my daughter was young, there were like over-the-ear headphones, and you could hear standing a foot away from a person. You could hear the song. You could hear everything. Now, with the insert earphones that we're all plugging into, they could be listening at a level that is no different than a factory worker. And they would be exposing themselves to noise levels that could cause noise damage. 1 in 6 teens have measurable hearing loss already. I think it's a large part due to the fact that we're all plugged in. And we talked also about the fact that parents are making decisions with younger and younger kids. Number one, I would say make sure that you have parental controls on any audio device that is going to headphones that you can't hear how loud they're listening to. That's extremely important.
Dave, if someone wants more information, because we have to put a pin in this conversation right now, but if someone wants more information about hearing loss or resources, where can they go?
They can go to our website at www.starkey.com. And I would just add one last thing is as we're starting this summer season now, we're outdoor listening to noisy events. The same way that you pack sunscreen or you remember your sunglasses, don't forget to wear hearing protection.
That's a good point.
Once the damage occurs, it's done. And we have a whole division called Sound Gear that you can also find, www.soundgear.com, about the importance of preventing hearing loss so that you don't have to wear these, you can wear these. An ounce of prevention, pound of cure.
Really good, important conversation.
So
Thanks for joining us.
Thank you so much.
This Memorial Day, we're learning about a local group rolling across America to support families who have lost loved ones in military service.
And here to tell us more about the Gold Star Ride Foundation is its director, Tony Price. Tony, thanks so much for joining us this morning.
Well, thank you very much for having me, and I really want to say that I appreciate you wearing red.
Oh, thank you.
Red is, as you know, maybe you do, maybe you don't, red is an acronym. It means remember everyone deployed. And there's a movement across the country where you wear red on Fridays to remember everyone deployed. But today's Memorial Day, and I want you to know I really appreciate you showing up in red.
Thank you for saying that.
Tell us about the Gold Star Foundation.
The Gold Star Ride Foundation is a wonderful little organization that goes around the country on motorcycles to honor and support the immediate family members of anyone who's killed in the military.
What I really love, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. Did you have more to say there?
Oh, I always have more to say, but you go ahead.
Well, you took a breath, so I didn't want to interrupt you. But I mean, what's really neat about this foundation, I think, to me, is the effort and intentionality you do to meet with these families.
Well, they reach out to us first. We will never make first contact with any Gold Star family out of respect for them, but they reach out to us first, and in the last 7 years, a little over 7 years, we've managed to meet with 560 Gold Star families across the country.
It's incredible.
We've ridden our motorcycles. I mean, we basically start here in the Twin Cities, and then we ride in whichever direction we need to go and do whatever we need to do. I just finished my 71st ride 2 weeks ago.
My goodness.
71st ride in a little over 7 years.
That's
and that
unbelievable.
was 3,000 miles that I covered in 7 days.
Do you think
and
about
we
that?
met 9 families on that ride.
Do you think about that? Everything that you've been able to accomplish in that 7.5 years that you've been able to do this?
Not often.
No.
No, I mean I get to recite it, right?
Yeah.
It's my bullet points. I get to say what all my bullet points are. But that's not what I'm thinking about.
What are you thinking about?
What I'm thinking about, how about if I cite a small story?
Sure.
A few years ago, I get an email from somebody that says, you got to meet my best friend. She's a Gold Star mom. I say, set it up. I'll be there in 2 days.
Okay.
So I ride through the heat. It was the end of July. It was super hot. I ride through the heat. I meet this Gold Star mom. And we finished the meeting. It was about a 3-hour meeting, and hugs, goodbyes. And I get on my motorcycle, and down the road I go. And I go visit more Gold Star families and put more miles on and go to more states. And 7 days later, I'm checking into a hotel, and I get an email from that best friend. And that email says, your visit here was the greatest thing that could have ever happened. Because later that day, she went home and tore up her own suicide note.
Oh.
Oh my goodness.
And she and I are still friends. I just talked to her yesterday.
Wow.
That was 5 years ago?
That's powerful.
That's
Yeah,
really powerful.
so that's the one that I have evidence of.
Yeah.
I don't know how many. I've met 560 families now. I don't know how many other suicide notes have been torn up, and you know they don't make it a point to reach out to me like that. But what I'm thinking of is the next family and what it means, how I help that family carry the load. See, when you lose your brother, your sister, your mother, your father, your son, or your daughter, or in-laws and stepkids are involved in that. When you lose somebody like that, they're never coming back. You get to carry that forever. And as long as you're carrying that forever, you know, every now and then, wouldn't it be nice if every now and then somebody would come along and say, you know what, I'm just going to help you carry that today.
And that's where you...
And that's where we come in. Wow. And it doesn't even matter when. There was another, I could tell you story after story after story, but there was a time I met a brother and a sister in Colorado who lost their older brother in Vietnam in 1968. Well, I just met them 3 years ago. And upon meeting them, we met at a restaurant, and upon meeting them, within the first 30 seconds of my arrival, it was as if I was the one who told them that their brother had been killed.
Oh, man.
That's how raw it still was. Thank you very much for that word. That's
Tony, we have to stop the conversation right here. But if someone wants to get a hold of you, what's the best way they can do that?
Everything that you need to know about me is on our website. It's at goldstarride.org. We are a 501c3 charity organization. You can donate there. You can write to us there. You can call us there. Everything is available right there at goldstarride.org.
Thank you for joining us this morning, and also the service, the service that you're providing for Gold Star families. Thank you. It's not enough.
Been my pleasure to be here.
Thank you.
Okay, so switching gears here. If you've ever been to a potluck, you know it's more than just about the food.
Yeah, a study by National Civic Life found that potlucks are resurging as a social trend. According to the study, community groups have hosted 22% more food sharing events since 2021. Workplace committees also say potlucks their most attended event. Okay, so if you are having a potluck, what are you bringing? If you're going to a dinner, you're going to the cookout today. What are you bringing?
I'm a big fan of just a big potato salad.
Yeah?
Yeah, give me the mustard, mayo, potatoes, obviously.
Raisins?
Vinegar in there. I don't go with raisins. I don't go with the sweet one.
Raisins in a in a salad? Potato salad?
Look, let me tell you something.
Sometimes you just throw whatever's in the fridge, you know? That's how I'm
not putting that in my potato salad.
Okay, you can come to the cookout then. You can go to the cookout. What are you bringing?
Okay, if there's a theme, I love to go on theme and find something fun.
I like to go to themed potlucks. AJ's laughing.
Are you going to dress up too? Like, are you gonna...
Maybe. I don't know. I go all out if I'm invited somewhere.
Okay.
I've been really into cheese balls lately.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Classic.
You can't. Everybody loves cheese.
Yeah.
No? You don't like a cheese ball?
Like a wedge? Like you cut into it?
No. Like you take cream cheese
Yeah.
and you do
Okay,
bacon.
Do you put like a walnut or something on the outside of it?
Yeah, you can, or like
peanut or
a
something?
crunch, something crunchy to
Yeah,
put on
something
side.
like that.
I made like a pumpkin one for a Halloween party.
Nice.
Made it into
Big
a little
cheese ball.
pumpkin.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm just
Crackers?
Yeah, crackers.
Well, yeah. Okay.
Veggies, maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Bringing if you're bringing a veggie tray,
Yeah.
come on, let's have a conversation.
Yeah.
I'm bringing the cornbread.
Cornbread.
Okay.
I'm bringing the pan. I'm bringing the flat iron cornbread.
Yeah.
I'll bring some orzo salad in there too.
Ooh.
Put some feta cheese in there.
Okay.
Yeah, that's tasty.
Some cucumbers.
Yeah.
Cornbread, man, love that.
You
bringing
gonna
butter
eat your
with it?
cornbread? Yeah, I'm bringing. Yeah, I'm putting. This is buttermilk cornbread. There's butter all in that thing.
Yeah.
Maybe put some cinnamon sugar on top there too.
I love that.
Yum.
We have a good old time.
Let's host a potluck, WCCO potluck.
But it has to be themed.
Yeah, it
You
has
come
to
up
be
with a theme.
themed. I'll think of something good. Yeah. Earlier, we told you about the rising popularity of potlucks. We wanted your feedback on the foods you like to bring.
Oh, we did. Krista says shrimp with homemade cocktail sauce and/or homemade meatballs and sauce made from canned cranberry sauce and chili sauce.
Angela says corn pudding with cheese, bell peppers, and onions. It's not colorful, but always a hit.
Marilyn says homemade potato salad and cowboy baked beans. Working on those right now. Okay, well,
perfect.
we'll be over at the house. Thanks, everybody, for your feedback. Okay, here we go.
AJ's nervous.
With all this warm weather we've been having, it's a perfect time to get outside, roll out your yoga mat. Roll out your yoga mat.
That is a tongue
Works.
twister. We have Sarah and Ashley here with Yoga 6 to tell us all about the benefits of taking yoga outdoors. Thank you both for being here this morning.
Thank you for having us.
Well, okay, we know yoga is great, right, for the mind and body inside, but tell us about what it does for you bringing it outside.
I think so many of the yoga poses actually take inspiration from nature, and by bringing your practice outside, you actually get to practice your balance in a different way, right? Because the ground, you want to feel the earth underneath you, and the ground is not stable, and that's okay, and that's life. And then we also have yoga poses that come from nature, like tree pose, and maybe you move like a tree with it. So plus you get to just take in, this is the best time of year for us.
I feel the earth move under my feet. Okay, so give us some poses. That we got the mats out here right now.
Mats are rolled out.
Give us some,
took the heels off, so.
You might have to take your shoes off.
Here we go.
Okay.
Got me taking my shoes off. I told them before, they rip this suit, we're gonna have a problem. Okay, walk us through some poses that we can do right now.
All right. Inhale, step your feet together.
Okay.
Root down into all four corners of your feet. Sweep your arms high to the sky. Exhale, soften through your shoulders. Relax your face. Zip your navel up and in. Mountain pose. This is a really great pose to really root down into your heels, feeling the ground beneath you, especially if you're out on the grass. It allows you to just really connect into your body and nature. Inhale, bring your palms together. Exhale, interlace your last three fingers, reach your fingertips towards the back side of your body. Open your heart space. Feel that stretch through your hips. Inhale, come back to center. Exhale, hands to heart.
Okay, that was doable.
Okay, that was doable. I've done yoga before. I was just giving you guys a hard time. I'm curious, everyone knows yoga. Everyone knows how to do basic yoga, right? I'm curious to know, what makes Yoga 6 different compared to, say, another yoga studio? This is for either of you.
Yeah.
So Yoga 6 is a full sensory studio. We incorporate heat, lighting. Our lighting is super cool.
Yeah.
And we also do humidity.
Which we have in Minnesota.
Yes. And music.
Okay.
So all of our classes deliver a really different experience depending on what class and format you're taking.
Okay.
So we have more mellow classes all the way up to super high energy classes like Sculpt, where you are adding in weights and strength training.
I was going to bring that up because I think a lot of times people think, you know, stretching with yoga, but it is so much muscle work, right? And adding on those weights is like a whole nother level, I imagine.
That's right.
Yeah.
It does, and we're very accessible. I think one of the things that sets us apart is that yoga can be intimidating, and we understand that, and we take away that barrier, and we are open for anyone who is a beginner or advanced. They can all come to the same class, and the way that we guide. Our instructors are very intentional about how they tell people where to move their body. And we help people on their full fitness journey. They maybe start with some yoga, and then we, incorporate the strength training as well.
We are running out of time, but I want to get one final point out really quick that you mentioned before. We were talking to the commercial break. You guys have a couple locations here, but community-based. You guys are about community. Talk about that really quickly.
Yeah, absolutely. We're community-based. So we're Yoga 6 in Minnetonka and Nokomis. And we really are centered around our members and our community, and we serve the community. So I say that we happen to just be practicing yoga together, but really we're about neighbors coming in together and sharing an experience and being really mindful and connected.
I love that, sharing in that experience and being mindful together. Thank you guys so much. And see, that was easy. Anybody can do this.